As we move on this afternoon, Luigi Mangione, the man accused of killing healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, is due in court again tomorrow. The 26-year-old is facing New York State murder and terrorism charges. Prosecutors say they have tied Mangione's fingerprints to a phone and other evidence at the murder scene. He was taken into custody in Altoona, Pennsylvania, days after that murder in New York City and then the intense manhunt. Investigators say he was carrying the gun used to kill Thompson, a passport, fake IDs, and cash when he was arrested. Joining me now with more is Dave Arenberg, state attorney for Palm Beach County, Florida. Dave, good to see you again this weekend. What can we expect to hear from Mangione's attorneys tomorrow in court? We know one of his attorneys was frustrated on Friday when the feds kind of swooped in and stood in front of the state.
Phil, good to be back with you. You will hear not guilty. They're going to plead not guilty to all the state charges. They're also going to complain that there's confusion because you have the state saying this is an act of terrorism. Meanwhile, you have the federal government with a surprise appearance, surprise charges saying that this was stalking. Which is it? And they're going to try to have a conflict between the state and the feds and ask the judge for more clarity. And whenever there's conflict between the two sets of prosecutors, that's a good thing for the defense.
You point out one's based on terrorism, one's based on stalking, two different theories, but both murder. Could this play a role in a jury outcome?
Well, I don't think the conflict between the state and the feds will impact a jury outcome. But what could impact a jury outcome, Phil, is that at the state level, they are charging first-degree murder based on terrorism. And to me, as a prosecutor, it doesn't seem like terrorism. It could be an overcharge. And jurors don't like when prosecutors overcharge. It loses credibility with the jury. Perhaps that's one reason why the feds decided to step in. They want to make sure this guy never sees the light of day again and maybe even impose the death penalty. So they're coming in as a backstop to the state prosecution, which will go first.
You mentioned the death penalty. How far do you think this will go? I mean, obviously that's on the table if he's convicted of the federal charges. Do you think it's something that could happen?
It could, not under the Biden administration, but under the Trump administration. There is a moratorium on the death penalty during the Biden administration, but Trump is different, and he's going to put his foot on the gas pedal when it comes to capital punishment. So it is possible, although I still find it hard to believe that a unanimous jury would vote to put him to death when you see the outpouring of support by members of the public about this guy. Some people are calling him a hero when he's far from that. In fact, his act was cowardly. He was lying in wait for his victim, wearing a mask, shooting him from behind, and then running away. That's no hero in my eyes, but I still think it'll be hard to get him the death penalty. I think his maximum punishment will be life.
All right. Dave Arenberg, always good to have your perspective. Thanks so much for taking us through it.